I'm thinking about this like distributed network. I mean, obviously distributed everything is a very big trend these days, but how do you keep track of all that to make sure the standards are staying high? In a way, it's like you have all these mini business owners that you have to trust to actually deliver on your mission from like Territory Foods perspective, and it has to seem like it's kind of coming from your brand. Like, how do you play that balance?
Yeah, so it's exactly like a franchisee. Like when Gap franchises out Gap brand to like Altair, right? They're trusting Altair to execute on behalf of the Gap brand principles with the right product, with all the right standards, right? So same kind of trust network. What we have done is we've built software. And this is where I am so proud of like the distributed model that we built and the way that we have created our software and our standards and our processes and things like that. But the first thing I'll say is not everybody can be part of the Territory network. We're not an open marketplace. It's a constant pushback from investors. Like, why not just open it to everyone? Everyone can be a part. And the answer is it's food, and standards are important. Quality is important. Everything on the Territory platform is free of gluten, sugar, dairy, inflammatory oils, carrageenan and maltodextrin, no binders, no fillers, no artificial flavors, none. Like very, very clean food. And we start from this space of clean food, and we create a marketplace and a mindset that when you come, everything on the menu is healthy for you. And you can tell me that you're eating Whole30 and you can choose to be vegan half the time and we don't judge. You come to us, it's about bounty, not restriction. And we allow people to eat sort of any which way they believe healthy is under this framework of macro level health. And the number one way people eat Territory is as an insurance policy in their fridge to make sure they're not ordering seamless every night. Yes, some people use us for experimentation in different diets and they'll try something out and they're saying, everybody's talking about plant-based. How do I eat more plant-based? Or, I wanted to try that keto diet. But the majority of people that eat with us are literally just trying to do a tiny bit better every single week. And we make it really joyful to do that. So for us, the chef relationship is about trust. And it's about making sure that they always have our sourcing standards. And we do things like audit invoices and we have a chef management system and things like that. But it's also about having a two-way relationship with the chef where we are taking all the consumer demand. So we capture about 150,000 points of consumer demand every single week. We batch it up and we look at it by locality. And we can identify sort of like the culinary trends, the protein trends, and the macro level trends. So let's say in Los Angeles, we're seeing Southeast Asian, chicken center of the plate, ketogenic profile. We go to all the chefs in our network that can serve that locality and we say, do we have a recipe and somebody who already makes something that looks like this? If we do, we put it on the menu. If we don't, we say, do we have somebody in our network that makes amazing Southeast Asian food? Do we have somebody who makes really great chicken because chicken is hard to make well? Do we have somebody who makes like really great keto food without making it oily? If we don't have that chef, we will go find a chef and we have a reserve kind of network of folks that are ready to join our network and excited to be part of us. If we do have the chef, we'll actually take it out to the chef and say, we think it's $13.95. We think it's going to be this volume. We'd like it to be this style. The chef does the concepting in their kitchen with their staff, their overhead, their head count, everything like that. So they're getting double, if not triple utilization on all the investments they've already made. And then we commercialize it on their behalf. And then it's an iterative process. And so there is the science of the technology and the systems that make it all come together. But then there's also the art, because this is food.
Yeah. And are all your chefs learning this? Like when you have a recipe, they're like, Stephanie in Austin wants this kind of macaroni and cheese that's healthy. Like, do you have all the chefs learn the recipe, or are you really focused on like the one chef who can serve me?
Yeah, we don't actually usually share across chefs or across network at all, mostly because taste preferences are really specific. So what we have in Austin is very different than what we have in Los Angeles. We also have dynamic pricing so that we're able to give different prices based on where people are. And all the networks are local. So these are not chefs that are making like a ghost brand. They're not making like the Territory Foods brand. Everything's under the banner of Territory, but the chef's name is on it. They're creating the recipe. They own the recipe. Like it's very, very much authentic to them. And what we've found like in terms of quality is that when a chef's name goes out on that package, the quality is better, full stop, because they have a business that they're trying to run. And for us, we really aim to be like, I would say like 25 to 35% of a chef's business. We try not to be over 55, 65%. We are designed to sit in their dark hours of a catering kitchen or of a restaurant. We're designed to help them get extra revenue at a high gross profit net of delivery, high gross margin value, but we're not running commissary kitchens. That's not our business.
That's smart. I mean, really good incentive structures, thinking about like how to get the best out of them while also not having them rely on you fully, where if you're like, well, now we're not going to serve that anymore because the demand is gone, it doesn't like crush their whole business.
Exactly. And we use a lot of predictive analytics. We have a very, very like big data science engine. So we can see when something is starting to trend out, and we have like culinary NPS score and we have meal level NPS score, and we can see all the trends. And it also allows us to innovate much faster. So we can basically say, like, I would say it's a 4-week innovation cycle from data to plate, where we can see like, okay, this health and wellness trend is coming up, or sometimes we like put them on the outside. So we'll be like, we want to talk about hibiscus, right? Like we do things like that too for marketing and for what we think is like trending, but we try to let the consumer data come forward. What I'll say is we saw ketogenic eating in late 2018 when I first came into the business. We saw it coming up. We launched our first keto program faster than anybody else in the market. Comparison standpoint, we launched ours in February of 2019, and SlimFast, the leading diet brand in the United States, launched their first keto ad and first keto focused product as a tester 8 months later. Right? These are just different innovation cycles. But what we can also do is we can see bigger trends. Like during the pandemic, people just wanted comfort food. They wanted things that could feed more people at home, because now this wasn't necessarily for working professionals going to work. It was for people trying to feed their families. And so we have this like really great reflexive muscle of going to the chefs and saying like, this is what we see. We also have a team that like goes out and scouts the best chefs and saying like, we want people who excel at XYZ. That's the art and the science. It's never just about science. There's an art to human engagement. There's an art to what people love. That's the most fun, is the human element and the network and the partnerships that our business is forged in.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment was made possible by our friends at Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're looking for the #1 platform for all your commerce needs, go check out salesforce.com/commerce. And don't forget to subscribe below and tap that little bell icon so you can stay on top of all the amazing new segments and full episodes that we'll be putting out over the coming year with some of the best and most influential commerce leaders out there.